Hi, welcome to T-Bad's Trucks and Stuff. Today, I'm gonna repair my two cab corners here on my Superduty cab, and we'll cut away and repair the inner rocker there as well. Yep, not very much left of that cab corner there. This will be a fun one. Take a look at what we got going on over here. Somebody did a poor job of a repair job on there before, so we got bondo and some rivets, all the rusted area, and I inspected in here. Right up here there's a little plate in the bottom, so I don't mark that so I don't hit it with my grinder. That's like the inner pillar bottom of the cab corner. It's on the inside. I'm not sure how it attached down here, if it even did attach down there. And then the back side here, the inner rocker is all gone. And again, I've marked where I'm gonna begin my cutting. I've got this part here, the whole cab corner will go right to the top, bottom, and all the way up. It goes way up to here. So we got lots of area. We're not cutting that high, but we got lots to be able to do a good repair. I'm just gonna cut a little bit away at a time with my grinder here, and we'll get a good look at what it looks like inside there. Try not to damage anything that doesn't need to be damaged. Oh, we got some surface rust on that area. It feels like about over here it starts to get to good metal. We got higher to go in here because this is still all bubbly and flaky stuff up there. But that little plate's there, so I wanted to avoid it. We'll have to do some slow trimming around that zone there. Let's cut away this side, see what it looks like in here from this way. Decent thickness of metal all up here. You can see the paint was barely damaged. So that'll be good to weld back to. Take a good look up in the back side here now. You can see right there is where my panel I bought will go to, and up top we're not horrible. It gets really bad though, but it's only that panel. Also very bad up there, so we got lots to cut away still. For this line, or this cut, above that little plate in there, I'm gonna use my square and make sure I draw a nice straight line, and this will give me something to reference from too. Where do I want it? Right there. because the other cab corner, this should be the same square on it as well. And there's gonna be our next cut then. And what can we do over here? A little harder to hold it nice on a round surface. There, let's try that. Okay, let's see what's behind here. See the foam holding it on? This is where the rust is gonna stop. See that? Sealed off. Old stuff. Weird foam, really thin plate. And then the rest of this. But that should be about as high as I need to go. And we'll see what to do if we pull that down, trim it out, reach up from the bottom and seal it later. I don't know. We'll see what to do with that later. This little plate in here with the foam on it that I avoided with my grinder. See, it's got little plastic Christmas tree clips that hold it in, and there's one up there, same thing. But how did somebody get that in there and put those clips in when this has primer on it, this all has primer, but there's no primer on it on either side? How do they get it in there and put those clips in and do that like that? For my next cut, I'm gonna go along this edge and over here because it's all good metal underneath, and this outside radius will be easy to weld and blend on, and then I'll just splice in the little end bit over here however I need to. So I'll get that cut out now. I got it all cut away back right near the edge of where the good metal and the bad metal meet. I'm gonna have to sand the paint back so I'll be able to take any little bit that's there, and then I gotta figure out how to dig out this little bit that it's having trouble focusing on. We gotta dig that out of there. And then I took all my pieces, and you can see I laid them over here. That's gonna give me my idea how to put it back together. That and my reference line from there to there. Here we are with the first test fit, which you can see once I got all the stuff out of there and was able to get it in how they interlock. We're pretty close. We're not all the way in because we're overlapped up here, and all of this, it has all the extra material that I left for my final grind to shape. But very close on the first test fit there. I got the cab corner all the way in place now. See, we got it lined up pretty good. The little bits that it's off I'll be able to fix when I'm welding it in. line it up perfectly straight, but I got it nice on my door jamb. And if you go to the back of this chrome piece where the actual door is down there, very nice on that edge as well. Now when you come in here, this was more difficult than I expected, getting it all to line up. I got a couple screws holding it, but we're lined up on my edge, so I'm lined up on my around there. My bottom is straight. If I use my straight edge across here, very nice and even. I have a small gap in there, which I don't think will be a big deal because this part is over top of this one a little bit. So I'll be able to tack it and tack it and tack it and then like tap it with my body hammer and make it go a little bit closed, a little bit tighter, and then just fill it with weld and grind it down. You'll never know the difference. That's actually quite well lined up, that one. When we look at it, I reveal every way. So very good job on that cab corner. And here we are. Got the second cab corner fit up there. They went pretty well, similar as the other one, except for there's a little notch or a dent up there where I made that notch. So we'll get the dent at the same time. The line in the door is pretty close, not quite as good as the other side. Down there is off a little bit. And inside, can't really see through the crack. We can probably see from here. A very, very close fit. It'll go together pretty good. And then now we have to prep all the surfaces, get rid of the rust in there, and do whatever we're going to do to the bottom of that pillar. Clean all that surface, and then we'll be ready to do some welding. I was grinding away at all the loose paint and rust and deciding what to do with this here and this stuff, because this will probably light on fire when I try and weld that. But I come to the conclusion that everything that was down here, I just cut it off. I determined it useless. On the inside up here, you can see the rocker panel. This is the inner rocker, attaches there and back there, and the pillar is also attached in the same area. So it's very securely fastened up there. Where down here, it came over and had 2 spot welds over here and 2 at the bottom, which is basically just enough to stop it from rattling. So all of the actual support in that is up higher here in the upper portion of the rear corner pillar area. So I'm just gonna pull these guys out and take this outer little metal thing with the foam on it out of here. Then I'll be able to clean up all the rust, be able to paint everything, weld my cab corner on, and then once the cab corner's on, I'll come in up in the back here, reach up, stick that back on, and then I'll weld this shut. Everything's all cleaned up here. All the loose paint and loose rust is knocked off. Now, little weld through primer. Get it all in everywhere where it's going to be enclosed. Here's the back side of the cab corner, and I sprayed primer sealer in the areas where I'm not going to be welding. Same over here. Primer sealer in the areas that will not be getting weld on them. Just for a little bit extra to seal her up real good there. I got all my inner surfaces here all sprayed and protected. So we're gonna throw the cab corner on here for the last time and weld it in. So I'm gonna start here with my little alignment screws in and get this door seam as close as I can, and that's gonna be where my first tack goes. We got our first tack in, and this isn't perfectly fitting because they're not stamped at the same time. So from here till the end, I'm gonna undo this screw and pull this corner straight as I pull it around, and then put the screw back in, and then I'll do the same up here to pull that into the best spot I can. And then we got a little body hammer for some fine tuning. Well, that one went nice and quick and fit in well. You can see a pretty decent alignment, only a small gap there. This is much nicer than the other side. The radius is a tiny bit different right there, but the body filler will get that. And then these other seams, very good, almost right on. So now let's put the door on, give it a test fit, and then we'll weld it out. So that'll do. We got a tiny bit wider right at the top, but the bottom's pretty well perfect. So that'll do. Starting to take shape here. I'm gonna drill these ones all the way through to the next layer so I get it all attached in good. Drill another one there and a couple along the back, but thought I should show how my weld's coming. I'll grind it down further, but I like to leave a little bit of meat just to connect it, and then find these little holes and weld them, grind it, weld them, grind it, weld them, grind it, over and over and over and over and over until we get a nice solid piece. And here we are after 26,000 tacks and a whole bunch of grinding. We got our cab corner on there nice and solid. Here's the passenger side one. Now these are ready for me to put a coat of fiberglass bondo on there to skim over and seal out any moisture that might try and come through from the back. We don't want a lot of this, just a nice little coat of it over the weld. sanded down, nice quick coat of fiberglass bondo. That'll seal moisture from the body filler bondo that we're going to put on next. Sander down now. Now I'm going to do a couple more layers to fine tune that in. But you can see getting that blended, it's a little bit high right now in there. The sander doesn't fit, so I'll have to finish that by hand. This was very close just as the metal was. And then there, see, only a small low spot, a little bit more in here. I need this lower level filled up higher, but we're very close on our blending and our lining up of the panels. So however many more layers it takes till we get it blended nice and smooth, and then we'll give her some filler primer. A couple more layers of bondo, and this is what I got. She's blended up quite nice. So over top of all the bondo there, I'm going to spray a one-step etching all-in-one kind of primer for my base primer, and then I'll do a wet sand, maybe another layer of that, and then a high build primer to finish it off. This is what it's looking like after 2 layers of self-etching primer and 2 or 3 layers of high build primer. We can see spots like that where the bondo's showing, very little bit of bondo showing up there, some of the scratches, and then I also tried to fill in any pinholes in the body filler with the primer as well. Now that I've got my cab corner repair up to this point where the cab corner is on and the bondo is sealed in there with the etching primer, and it's got the filler primer on it, which isn't a fully like waterproof layer, but I'm going to continue and do this patch, my inner patches, and a few other spots before I get to getting this ready for paint prep. That's going to be all I'm doing to it for right now. But soon to come, I'll finish off all these other patches, and then it'll be prepping the entire cab for paint in the end. Be sure to check back into T-Bad's trucks and stuff and see how this goes as I repair all the rust around inside my engine bay and on my cab, and then I put my Superduty back together. So check back in, see how it goes, see what problems I encounter, and how this project turns out in the end. I'll see you later.